Welcome to the My Hero Academia recap. In a world where everyone possesses superpowers named quirks, at the young age of 4, when people start noticing their quirks come to fruition, Izuku Midoriya notices that he is quirkless. But one day after school, he is attacked by the sludge villain and saved by the #1 pro hero, All Might. He accidentally learns of his secret that he is actually dying, advising him to give up the hero's life. But after watching him risk his life to save Bakugo, his bully, he knew what true heroism was, training him to be able to eat his hair and also gain the all-for-one powers. And another act of bravery awards him the position to be able to study at the UA High, a prestigious school for heroes, meeting their class teacher, Shota Azawa, and his new classmates. Tenya Ida becomes class president with Momo as vice. Following their change, they begin to practice outside and simulate a disaster scenario. But Shigaraki, the leader of the League of Villains, invades. With his goal to defeat All Might, he starts battering the students with his legion of Nomus. In their last moments, All Might shows up to save the day, destroying the Nomus, saving students, and injuring Shigaraki. He is forced to disengage and portal home. The Class 1A participate in the Summer Festival competition. In the end, they begin the tournament 1v1 spar matches, Deku easily beating Hitoshi Shinzo and his mind-controlling abilities. Shoto Todoroki, with the quirk half cold, half hot, admits his dark past, that his father was extremely abusive and he was Endeavor, the #2 hero. Deku versus Todoroki, forcing him to use his fire side. However, he is disqualified. Bakugo ends up winning the tournament. In a tragic turn of events, Leader learns that his brother has been paralyzed after a fight with hero killer Stain, and they begin their internships. Deku trains under Gran Torino, who was All Might's mentor. Bakugo trains with the best genus, #3 pro hero, and Todoroki trains under his father. The League of Villains upgrades their Nomus and revealed their true leader to be All for One. Shigaraki was just his student. Leader tracks down Stain to challenge him and is brutally injured. Deku and Todoroki unite to beat Stain, but a Nomu latches onto Deku and tries to fly away. In a change of heart, Stain saves Deku, leading to his own arrest. All this training has led up to the final exam, where the students now must beat their own teachers to pass. Deku and Bakugo are forced to work together and defeat All Might, and after school, at a mall fooling around, he runs into Shigaraki, allowing him to realize that he needs to kill All Might, the center of peace in society, and make all the civilians endure the pain he did as a child. To practice for their provisional hero license, they attend a training camp to learn better how to defend themselves from imminent threats, but it turns out to be sour once again. The League of Villains invade, with their new companions Darby, Toga, and Spinner, who aims to kill all the heroes, and Deku saves Kota by going 1,000,000%. But during this altercation, Bakugo was kidnapped. With more spotlight and news coverage, the school has to acknowledge that they have a mole, and without Bakugo, the students feel guilty, promising to rescue him. At the villain headquarters, they try to recruit Bakugo as he is powerful and aggressive, but these ideas prove to be wrong, as Bakugo starts wreaking havoc and trying to escape. In this moment, All Might flies over to save him, but All for One makes another appearance, teleporting Bakugo away as the fight ensues, and All for One and One for All begin their ultimate fight. Streamed to the entire world, All Might uses his final ember, smashing All for One, which also led to his arrest. Without any embers left, All Might is forced to retire. They all head to exams again to acquire their provisional license and become amateur heroes, but in the end they all pass, except Todoroki and Bakugo. Deku and Bakugo spar once more, and he learns that All Might chose Deku to eat his hair, which he really wanted to. The class meet the big three, Mirio, Tamaki, and Nejire, and in a small fight, they learn their immense differences in their skill level. The League of Villains tries to recruit Overhaul, but hearing of their uncoordinated plans, he declines their offer, and Deku begins training under Mirai or Night Eye, All Might's former sidekick. Working with Mirio, they stumble onto Overhaul and Eri, but they are unable to arrest him, as his goal is to remove all quirks from the world, seeing them as a disease, developing a quirk-destroying bullet that removes a person's abilities. Night Eye recruits various heroes to help aid in stopping Overhaul. They proceed with a raid on his compound, easily breaking through, but the battle with Overhaul begins, and to protect Eri, Mirio takes the quirk-erasing bullet. Deku and Night Eye arrive to save the day. Night Eye is impaled by a spike, and in saving Eri, she activates her powers, and together with Deku, they defeat Overhaul. Afterwards, Shigaraki teleports in to amputate Overhaul's arms, effectively removing his quirk. Sadly, Night Eye succumbs to his injuries and dies in the hospital. Endeavor and Hawks has a conversation about their theorized newly advanced Nomus, but they are interrupted by a Nomu, and working together, they are able to eviscerate Hood beyond regeneration, solidifying their position as number 1 and 2 pro hero. Shortly after the fight, Endeavor recovers quickly, and with a rocky home life, Todoroki and Bakugo take the hero license exams and pass easily. Deku, however, is getting dreams of the past lives, learning a new skill named Black Whip. The secret double agent Hawks kills Best Jeanist as a tribute for Darby. The trio are taken under by Endeavor, and their mission is to capture a villain before he can. It turns out poorly, until Hawks delivers a book to Endeavor. He decrypts it to find that the League of Villains and Meta Liberation Army will attack in 4 months, warning him to prepare all the heroes for this. Luckily, Natsu is captured and Endeavor is stunned. The students quickly rush into action and save him, revealing that Natsu hated Endeavor for getting Toya, his little brother, killed. Shota and Hazashi fail to convert Oboro, a childhood friend, as they found out that after his death, he was turned into a Nomu. We follow the League of Villains, as they were promised access to All for One's revolutionary Nomus, as long as they are able to get Gigantomachia to submit, but they get an invite by the Meta Liberation Army to save a mutual friend, Giron. But to do so, they must defeat Reed Destro, so the League break into the city. Filled with platoons of Liberation soldiers, Toga uses her new ability. Drinking someone's blood allows her to manifest their quirk. Twice creates a monstrous amount of clones to try and save Toga. Tomorrow can now decay multiple people without physical contact, and they decay the building, leading to another massive fight with Reed Destro, and he can turn stress into strength. And he begins to lose the fight, until a flashback shows that Tamura wanted to be a hero, but his abusive father hated them because his grandmother was Nana Shimura, All Might's master. But his quirk started to show semblance. He accidentally killed their family pet, the family, but his father on purpose. Left with all this destruction, All for One found him and teaches him to harness this ability. In the present, he decays his family's hands, empowering himself to immense levels, destroying Redestro and easily making Gigantomachia submit. They join armies to create the Paranormal Liberation Front. With this win, Dr. Garaki places Shigaraki under a 4-month painful procedure to make them stronger than All for One. We skip to the present. Still in the procedure, the heroes are preparing for this fight. They begin their insurgency to stop Shigaraki and the Doctor. They successfully whittle him down, but they are ambushed by the high-end Nomus that Mirko, the number 5 hero, manages to hold off, drawing enough time for Endeavor and Aizawa to catch up, allowing for Mirko to destroy the tank that holds Shigaraki. As they begin to arrest the villains, they leave X-less with Shigaraki's unconscious body. Meanwhile, Hawk catches twice and murders him. Shigaraki wakes and decays X-less. He shows his true capabilities and begins melting the entire city. Whilst the heroes try to save the civilians, Shigaraki activates Gigantomachia with the sole mission of escorting the villains to Tamura, and Midnight fails to subdue Gigantomachia, losing her life. Endeavor tries to hold off Shigaraki to no avail. The 4-month incubation period gave Shigaraki the All for One quirk. Layered with multiple others, he tries to steal Deku's One for All, and he leads them astray from the buildings and civilians. In the battle, Tamura damages them drastically, decaying Gran Torino's legs and shooting a quirk-destroying bullet at Aizawa, but he reacts immediately, amputating the limb before the bullet can even take effect. However, he is able to erase Aizawa's eyes. Using his third quirk, Deku empowers himself to float and fend off Shigaraki. Once Shigaraki reaches Deku, he fails to steal his One for All, as Nana and Yoichi stops him. Gigantomachia arrives to help save Shigaraki, but Darby devastatingly reveals that he is Toya, their son that they had abandoned, and playing all over the country, a recording of his blood work proving that he is related to Endeavor, and the gruesome murder of Twice. They escape via Nomus, but in the aftermath, heroes begin to lose hope. Vast amounts of heroes begin to quit in droves, and as a result of the battle, over 16,000 are captured, but multiple hero casualties too. And All for One calls out to Tamura, forcing a prison break to try and relinquish his physical body, and with their quirks they easily break through, freeing 6 more prisons in the region. With most of the country being a lawless wasteland, they call for civilians to gather at hero schools as safe spots. Suspecting that Shigaraki and All for One are after Deku's One for All quirk, in his coma, Deku meets with 8 previous One for All wielders, and with the festering guilt, he is said to be their last wielder, and with that, he is able to use all previous quirks. Scared of returning to UA, he ventures around the abandoned city, trying to figure out any clues to where the villains may be. Resulting in barely any clues, he encounters Lady Negan, who was used as a vessel by All For One, and they quickly dispose of, heading to the mansion that she was meant to take them to, but it is once again a dead end, as a video of All For One plays mocking them, telling them that Midoriya will be next. At his wit's end, the team is forced to subdue Deku and bring him back to the UA so he can rest, where hesitant and scared civilians riot at the sight of him, but Uraka's speech moves them and they allow him to stay, and All Might is given a message from Stain that Shigaraki's body will be complete in 3 days, and with little to no time, they plead for help overseas. Rushing over by plane, United States' #1 hero, Star and Stripe. This is when the story ends. Make sure to subscribe, and for more, watch this.